A chill wind blows across Europe. It's not just the weather. Something deeper has changed. The old certainties are gone. A quiet unease settles in cafes, in town squares. People glance back more than before. The continent feels adrift, heavy with something unnamed. Grand boulevards still stand. Museums still display ancient glories. But conversations now have an edge, a nervous hum beneath daily life. What does it mean to be European now? The question lingers. Old ghosts, long thought banished, begin to stir. This isn't the Europe of confident pronouncements. It's a continent grappling with its own reflection, one that seems unfamiliar. Narratives of unity now show visible cracks. People peer into these fissures with fear and curiosity. What lies beneath the polished veneer? Many suspect it's not reassuring. The ground beneath Europe's feet feels less solid. Promises of perpetual peace and prosperity ring hollow for many. A deep sigh escapes from the heart of this old world. It's the sound of an era ending, or at least being profoundly challenged. The familiar landscapes of belief are shifting. No one knows where the new lines will be drawn. The continent stands at a crossroads. The future is uncertain, and everyone feels it. Then came the knock. Not a single tap, but millions over years. New faces appeared in storied cities and quiet villages, seeking refuge. Many fled lands scarred by war, following a different faith, Islam. Europe, once a continent of departure, became a destination, a beacon for those fleeing bombs, tyranny and despair. They carried their worlds in plastic bags, children's hands held tight. Their eyes held stories Europe struggled to hear. The numbers swelled from Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq. They crossed the Mediterranean, braved harsh borders. Journeys of hardship and risk. Some didn't make it. Their ghosts haunt Europe's conscience. The living arrived, exhausted, traumatized, expectant. Change came, whether intended or not. The mosque was now down the street, the call to prayer in the air, headscarves in the marketplace, new languages in playgrounds. For some this was a welcome addition, for others it became a symbol of a world receding, of anxieties taking root. The old and new collided in daily life. Diversity became a flashpoint. The continent's identity felt under pressure. The question, could Europe adapt, or would fear define the response? The answer was far from clear. The tension was everywhere, and it was growing. Why did they come? The answer is complex. Bombs turned cities to rubble. Survival meant escape. Europe, distant and idealized, seemed the only hope. Endless conflict, proxy wars, dictators, extremists, no future remained. So they walked or sailed, risking everything. Poverty played its part. Work couldn't feed families, dreams withered. Images of Europe promised opportunity, a chance for children to thrive. It was a desperate gamble, but better than certain despair. And hope, always hope, drove them on. Hope for safety, dignity, a future. They weren't an invading army, they were human beings fleeing inhumanity, seeking sanctuary, believing in Europe's values, freedom, compassion, a better life. The journey was perilous, the odds slim, but hope is resilient. It's the most human impulse. They arrived with little but hope, and the belief that Europe could offer a new beginning. The reality was more complicated, but the dream endured in every arrival, in every step forward. The impact was immediate and visible. Cities swelled, public resources strained. Schools scrambled for translators, doctors faced new challenges. Housing grew scarcer, more expensive. Communities stretched, sometimes frayed. Tensions surfaced, cultural landscapes shifted. New shops, new foods, new festivals appeared. Some welcomed the diversity, others felt dislocated. Their world was changing, too fast without consent. Economic anxieties sharpened. Jobs, welfare, who benefits? Especially in struggling communities, newcomers were seen as competitors. The old ways clashed with the new. Sometimes with curiosity, sometimes with friction. Debates erupted over religious symbols, women's roles, integration. What did it mean to live together? Could these worlds coexist? These were no longer abstract questions, they were daily realities. On every street, in every town, the challenge was clear. Adaptation was not optional. The stakes were high. And the answers uncertain. Europe's heart was divided. Compassion bloomed, people opened homes, donated, remembered their own histories. Humanity shone through for a while, but fear spread. Fear of the unknown, of change, of insecurity. Sensational news fueled the flames, stories of crime, cultural clashes. Whispers became shouts, the welcome mat wore thin. Anger simmered, then boiled over, at newcomers, at governments. Accusations of lost control, betrayal, failure. Enough is enough, some cried. Public discourse hardened, empathy gave way to bitterness. The space for reasoned debate shrank. It became a battle for Europe's soul. Openness versus closed borders, shared humanity versus existential threat, families divided, friendships fractured. The middle ground eroded. Two camps stared across a widening chasm. The struggle was not just political, it was personal. The continent's future hung in the balance. The stakes identity, values, coexistence. The question, which vision would prevail? The answer would shape generations. The divide was deep and growing. The outcome, uncertain. Into this anxious climate, nationalism strode. Confident, bold, offering simple answers to complex problems. Our country first became the rallying cry. For those left behind, it was seductive. Political opportunists seized the moment, fanning fears. Immigrants, refugees, Muslims, scapegoats for every ill. Economic hardship, their fault. Cultural anxiety, their fault. National identity under threat, blame them. The old playbook proved effective. Economic strain made fertile ground for blame. When jobs are scarce, when the future is uncertain, the outsider is blamed. The newcomer, the one who looks or prays differently, becomes the scapegoat. Deeper failures are ignored. National identity felt besieged, threatened by new cultures, the fear becoming strangers in their own land. This was about belonging, about us and them. Nationalism promised to restore us by excluding them. The message resonated. The consequences were real. The lines hardened. The rhetoric sharpened. The past echoed in the present. The future was at stake, and the force of nationalism was rising. So here Europe stands, poised at a precipice. Communities divided not just by newcomers but by how to respond. Old values, tolerance, openness, solidarity are tested. Are they strong enough to withstand the storm? Can fractured societies heal? Can trust be rebuilt? It requires courage, honesty, a willingness to listen. These qualities are in short supply. The shouting drowns out reason. The future is unwritten. Will Europe rediscover common purpose, shared humanity? Or will walls, literal and metaphorical, rise higher? Will division deepen, cracks become chasms? The path chosen now will define the continent for generations. There is no easy way back. This is Europe's moment of truth, a test of character, resilience, identity. The ghosts of the past watch. The world watches too. Will the cradle of the Enlightenment find strength to light a path forward, or will darkness gather? The choice must be made, and soon. The stakes could not be higher. The future hangs in the balance.